Superhero action, a genre practically bursting at the seams. But what if you took that and steered in a generous helping of turn-based tactics and deck building? That's Midnight Suns. And the result is a surprisingly deep and engaging concoction, even if it's not entirely flawless. So, who's answering the call to battle? The roster pulls from two main groups, the iconic Avengers and the more mystical Midnight Suns, inspired by the Midnight Suns. And then there's Spider-Man and Wolverine, two of Marvel's most popular heroes who don't technically belong to either team. This blend is fantastic. You get the household names, but it also shines a welcome spotlight on some of Marvel's more obscure corners. Alongside this impressive roster of 12, you'll step into the boots of Hunter, a new customizable protagonist created specifically for this game. They'll be a regular fixture in your squad, so it's a huge relief that they are actually fun to use. Firaxis made sure Hunter is powerful and versatile. Imagine if your main character sucked. That would have been a much rougher experience. While the term card game might conjure images of static interfaces and slow wonky animations, Midnight Suns shatters that expectation. This is very much a 3D tactics game, where you're actively maneuvering heroes around dynamic arenas and using the environment to your advantage. Sending goons flying into each other and throwing boulders in their face. I can't tell you how many times I've gleefully knocked a Hydra Nazi into an explosive barrel. And visually, it's a knockout. Combat animations are sleek, stylish and are full of personality. Every single card has its unique animation. Be it Spider-Man listening to his spider senses, or Blade driving a stake into someone's chest. Even basic movements are character authentic. Spider-Man web swings, Iron Man jets in quick bursts, and Magic opens portals. It's a fantastic touch. There's a flip side to all this flair, however. These flashy animations, while awesome, can start to drag. There's no option to skip or fast forward them, and seeing the same elaborate takedown for the 50th time does begin to test your patience. It's another one of those small quality of life features that really should have been there from the start. Let's explore the card mechanic a bit deeper. You'll find some regular card game shenanigans here. Single-use exhaust cards, various status effects like bleed and stun, and so on. But Midnight Suns also throws in some clever twists. Cards with randomized effects upon drawing, abilities that trigger while held in hand, or special properties activated when redrawn. What really makes the system shine though, is that every hero comes with a unique mechanic tailored to their identity. Iron Man, for example, upgrades his cards by using redraws on them. Ghost Rider plays a high-risk, high-reward game, often damaging himself for greater effect. Magic manipulates enemy positions with her portals. These individual gimmicks give each hero a distinctive feel and support a wide variety of playstyles, making it easy to find characters that you'll enjoy playing. Hunter, fittingly, has an additional layer of customization tied to their alignment. Throughout the story, you'll make choices that nudge you towards light, dark or balanced paths. This directly impacts the Hunter's card pool, making these choices very gameplay important. No, it's not. But it should have. It doesn't actually lock you out of anything. You can mix light and dark cards freely and create any weird build you want. So, what does a typical turn look like? Generally, you get 3 card plays, 2 redraws and 1 move action. What's particularly interesting is that most cards don't have a traditional mana cost or anything like that. Your primary resource is those precious card plays. Of course, there are cards that cleverly bend these rules. Some are free, some refund card plays, and others grant additional ones. These are some of the most valuable cards in your arsenal, because they turn each encounter into a mini puzzle, figuring out the right sequence of actions to squeeze out every possible card play. Not all cards are free, however. Heroic cards require heroism, a resource generated by playing your basic non-heroic abilities. These heroic cards are your heavy hitters, the big flashy finishers that can completely shift momentum in a tough fight. It's a smart system, and one that rewards long-term thinking and synergy. This ties directly into the deck building, because to use a deck, you first need to build a deck. Back at the Abbey, your home base, you can craft cards and upgrade them for both the hunter and every other hero. After each successful mission, you get to open card packs. Oh sorry, I mean analyze gamma coils, which for some reason rewards you with new cards. Progress further and you'll unlock card mods, randomized bonuses that can turn a strong card into something truly broken. It's a bit of a gamble to roll the perfect mod for your favorite legendary card, but who doesn't enjoy a little gamba? With this big roster of heroes plus hunter, we're looking at a pretty large cast. And frankly, it's almost impossible to give everyone equal attention. It's a time-consuming and resource-intensive process. Some heroes will inevitably fall behind. The optimal strategy likely involves picking 3 or 4 favorites alongside the hunter and focusing your efforts solely on them, building their decks, keeping them leveled, and maximizing friendship. Because by the way, yes, the level of friendship with the hero matters quite a bit. Personally, I resisted hyper-optimizing for this reason, keeping the difficulty at a manageable level to enjoy more of the cast. Which brings us neatly to the topic of difficulty. Midnight Suns handles it in a rather peculiar way. You start with only story and normal options available. Normal here is effectively very easy, with the true normal and a bunch of even harder tiers unlocked progressively as you complete missions. So if you're someone who enjoys cranking the difficulty right away, you'll be waiting a while. It's a very unusual system. I can't say it's inherently bad, but the benefits of these gradual unlocks aren't obvious to me either.
Hulk not interested in more blah blah blah. This boring. Bring on bad guys.
Yeah, so we have our heroes and their decks. But what about the bad guys? Enemy variety is a bit of a mixed bag. For the most part, we are fighting 2 major factions, the demonic Lilin and the humanic Hydra. Within each, there's a decent range of unit types. Summoners, supports, units that multiply on damage, and so on. There's solid variety here. However, with only around 15 regular enemy types across the whole game, even the most unique encounters start to feel familiar after dozens of hours. To break up that repetition, once in a while the game throws super villain boss fights at you. These are certainly a change of pace, and each comes with its own unique mechanical twist. However, they also feature a slightly odd design choice. When you deplete a boss's health for the first time, they don't actually go down. Instead, they usually revive with full HP on the next turn. sometimes requiring you to defeat them 3 or even 4 times. I didn't find this gimmick that fun. I get the idea, but it just didn't land for me. So, enemy design sits in a strange middle ground. The variety and individual ideas are good, even clever at times, but they're stretched too thin across the game's length. I kept hoping for a bit more, but it wasn't there. Here's the crucial part. Because of all these quirks, the core gameplay loop constantly evolves. Thanks to AB upgrades, research projects, character friendships, the steady unlocking of new abilities and those changing difficulty tiers. The game rarely feels stale. Your tactical considerations are constantly shifting. Early on, a knockback might just mean slamming one enemy into another. Later, after some research, you can knock enemies into your own heroes for a free hit. Suddenly, you have a new choice: moderate damage to 2 targets or high damage to a single one. It's simple changes like this that continuously broaden the tactical gameplay. Ultimately, the card-based tactical combat in Midnight Suns is very satisfying. It's a clever, engaging system with enough depth and variety to keep you hooked, with a decent dose of replay potential to boot. And thus, I've covered 1/3 of the game, as Marvel's Midnight Suns is far more than just combat and cards. Subscribe so you don't miss the next slice, where I'll be covering the non-combat gameplay, including the surprisingly in-depth dating simulator system. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like and a comment goes a long way in helping the channel grow. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.